Thank you, moderator, for the kind introductions. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. On behalf of Energy Commission, we would like to express our appreciation to the organizer for inviting us to participate in these forums. We are honored to be here to share with you our energy efficiency initiatives as well as renewable energy mix in Malaysia power planning, which is mainly about optimizing the usage of energy and to reduce the carbon emissions. My presentation will be based on the following contents. First, I will share with you about our national energy balance. We will share a little bit about our energy statistics, primary supply, final energy consumptions, and generation of electricity from our primary energy supply. We will discuss on the energy efficiency initiatives, the electricity intensity in Malaysia, and we'll touch a little bit on the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. And last but not least, renewable energy mix in Malaysia. This is our national energy policy. In 1974, this Petroleum Development Act was formed upon discovering of petroleum in Malaysia. And in 1979, in our national energy policy, we do include to promote efficient utilization of energy and to minimize negative environmental impacts in our energy supply chain. In 1981, we have a 4-fuel policy for our energy mix, that is crude oil, coal, gas, and hydro. And in 2001, we have a 5-fuel policy where we include renewable energy and energy efficiency as components of our energy mix. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you some concept of our national energy balance. What is energy balance? It is about primary energy versus the energy consumption. Primary energy, yes, we obtain from our production, we import, we minus all the export, the bunkers, and the stock reserve. Mainly the primary energy is the crude oil, coal, gas, as well as hydro and renewable energy. Then all this primary energy will be transformed to the final energy consumption or energy ready to be used by the end user, mainly for the domestic, for the industrial, commercial, transportation sector, and agriculture sector. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to share with you some data of Malaysia national energy balance with respect to primary energy supply and final energy consumption. This data was collected from some 80 agencies, which include the government agencies, the oil and gas company, public utilities, independent power producer, cement, iron and steel manufacturers, and many more relevant parties which involved directly or indirectly. Most of them are the large power consumers. The bar chart you can see is the progressive increase in volume of our primary energy supply, ranging from 1990 to 2018. The one marked in yellow is the crude oil, the blue is the gas, and the red is coal and coke, and the green is the hydro and RE. In 2018, our total primary energy supply is 99,873 kiloton of oil equivalents, out of which 29.5% is from crude oil, 22.3% from coal and coke, 41% from natural gas, and 7.2% from hydro and RE. This slide shows the trend of gross domestic product or GDP in blue line, primary energy supply, the brown bar, and the final energy consumption in the green bar. As you can see, in 2018, for example, our primary energy supply is 99,873 KTOE, but upon transformation, what we get is 64,658 KTOE or kiloton of oil equivalent. That is 64.7% from the input of primary energy supply. Well, on the consumer side, on the demand side, who are the usage of this final energy consumptions? Number one, as you can see, industry, it consumes about 29% of the final energy consumption, or 19,046 KTOE. Second is the transportation sector, 36.4%. Residential and commercial, about 12%. Non-energy use, about 13,262 KTOE or 20%. And agriculture, 1,021 KTOE or 1.6%. So as you can see, transportation sector is the biggest sector of energy consumption. If we look at final energy consumption by types of fuel, from the 64,658 kiloton of oil equivalent, petroleum products is about 47.7% or 30,845 KTOE. Electricity, 20%, gas, 29.2%, coal and coke, about 2.8%. Okay. My next presentation, or the continuous presentation, will be focused on electricity, because electricity is the one that need more primary energy to produce just a portion of electricity. This is the comparison between primary energy supply and final energy consumption. Excuse me for a while. So from the 99,873 kiloton of oil equivalent, 38.8% of the primary energy is used to generate electricity. Okay, but from the 38.8%, only 13.17% will be produced for will be the electricity energy. So from this we can say each unit of electricity produced for the demand side requires 3 units of primary energy supply at the power plant. Or in other words, implementing energy efficiency, if you save 1 unit of electricity on the demand side, you are actually saving 3 units on the primary side. Based on our recorded data, the greenhouse gas GHG inventory, energy industry, electricity produce the highest GHG greenhouse gas, or 39%. Second is the transportation sector, and third is the manufacturing industry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a simple example of electricity energy flow diagram for Peninsular Malaysia. As I mentioned to you, on the domestic side, we have the amount of energy consumption, electricity consumption for 2015 is 105,562 gigawatt hours. This is the total consumption of electricity on the demand side. That include domestics, commercial, industry, and others. But to supply for the demand, you on the supply side itself, you need to have a generation, electricity generation at about 1,117,172 gigawatt hours of energy, of electricity, sorry, and transported it through a lengthy transmission line and distribution line. So if we can preserve some amount of energy on the demand side, we could preserve many more energy from the primary side, from the generation side. So energy management aims to optimize the energy consumption on the demand side of this electricity. So how are we to reduce or how are we to optimize our consumption in electricity? For Malaysia, to share with you, in 2011, we required high efficient technology for the new generation of capacity plant up in Malaysia. Then we have energy efficiency equipment rebates in 2011. We collaborate with UNDP in the building sector. We developed Malaysian standard for the Uniform Building Bylaw. We also introduced the minimum energy performance standards in 2013. We collaborate with UNIDO for the industry energy efficiency projects. We also introduced the energy performance and contracting, or EPC, for the industrial and commercial buildings. And we encourage the government ministry to reduce the consumption by 5%. That is by maintaining their aircon temperature at 24 degrees Celsius. We also developed a National Energy Action Plan, National Energy Efficiency Action Plan, or we call it MEPS, and NEEAP in 2016. We introduced the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act, and recently we introduced the Energy Efficiency Rebate Schemes 2.0. So from all this list of initiatives, I would like to emphasize on the minimum energy performance standards, the National Energy Efficiency Action Plans in our discussions. Okay, for energy efficiency, energy performance standards in 2013, we make it mandatory for 5 appliances, namely the TV, aircon, lamp, refrigerator, and fans, to comply with our performance standard, whereby all these appliances need to be affixed with energy performance standard, or we call it a star rating, to be affixed on the products. So publics can make the choice whether they want to purchase the 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star products. Well, and for sure, the 5-star product is the most efficient appliances. Next, we developed another performance for washing machines, because these are among the appliances that commonly used in domestic. So with these 6 appliances, it is a mandatory requirement for sellers to sell not only safe products, but also product with performance standard with the star rating level. In our National Energy Efficiency Action Plan, we have some 5 initiatives to meet our targets. One, yes, just now, as I mentioned before, all these appliances must have a star rating level, but we encourage them to purchase the 5-star appliances. Some we give rebates to them as a encouragement, and some products like aircon and so forth, they may not have the 5-star, but 4-star and above is sufficient for the energy performance. We also continuously develop the new minimum energy performance standards, or MEPS, for other appliances. What we have in line now is rice cooker and also ovens. So the next 2 appliances will be in the market soon, in 1 or 2 years' time. Next, we have the energy audit or energy management for building and industry. This is where we encourage the building owner and the factory to do the audits on their premises and identify which part can they can take some energy efficiency measures to reduce the consumption. Co-generation, we encourage co-generation, and we also have the building bylaw enactment in the regulations. As you can see, on each and every initiative, we have predicted some potential saving could be achieved in 10 years implementation. For example, like the 5-star rated appliances, about 7,000 gigawatt hours could be saved. And, for MEPS, about 2,175 gigawatt hours in 10 years periods. And buildings and industry, of course, they are the most potential consumers that can save their energy without losing their performance, with 34,809 gigawatt hours in 10 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a graph of our national energy, our annual consumption versus the energy demand. The blue line, as you can see, this is business as usual, where we predict based on the historical data. If nothing is being implemented for the EE measures, the demand will grow as the blue line on the top here. So with the National Energy Efficiency Action Plan, we predict the graph will lower down the consumption and will reach our targets in 2025. We have annually monitor our performance, and the blue line is the actual consumption that we monitored. For example, in 2016, where we started, 2017, the demand is along with our National Energy Efficiency Action Plan, 2018, 2019, we are still on track. And what does it mean with all this saving? We are targeting in 2025, or at the 10th years of implementation, we could save some 8% of energy consumption, which compared to business as usual. So the 12,391 gigawatt hours could be saved in 2025 compared to business as usual. So what does it mean in our electrical system? 12,391 gigawatt hours also mean we could reduce our maximum demand by 2021 megawatt. Okay. So if we could save the MD by 2021 megawatt, we could slower the needs to plan up for about 2,500 megawatts. So the reduction in energy generation will be around 13,597 gigawatt hours. If 1 KTOE is equivalent to 11.63 gigawatt hours, so we could reduce some 1,169 KTOE. As I mentioned earlier, for 1 unit of electricity, you require 3 units of primary energy. So if this will be multiplied by 3, so the energy, the primary energy that could be saved is about 3,507 kiloton of oil equivalent. And what does it mean to our emissions? The total reduction for GHG emission at the 10th years is estimated to be equivalent to 8,094 kilotons of CO2 equivalent. This is our national energy intensity. Okay, it is about how much electricity energy do we need to obtain 1 million GDP in 2015, the reference price. As you can see, we would wish to have the blue bar decreasing year by year, but that shows that the lower the blue bar is, the more efficient in electricity we are using. From what you see is a range from 1990 to 2018. At the beginning, we noticed that it is quite low, but at this point of time, not many industry are using electricity, and then they start convert to electricity as their source of productions, and we can see now they are flattened at about 1.12 gigawatt hours per 1 million GDP. This is just for Malaysia, and we compare it year to year. But if we if we put in line with a few other economies, our electricity intensity is relatively high. For each of the economies, the data of the electricity consumption, we got it from the IEA 2017 energy indicator. The basic intensity between countries is different because each and every country is different in terms of their economic activity, social activity, geographical factors, difference in policies, and many more. So, as you can see, for Malaysia, we are still higher compared to a few other countries, and there is still a lot of work to do to reduce our intensity. And we are also monitoring, are we performing better year by year? And we noticed that, yes, the intensity is reducing, and not only us, most of the country is towards the descending trend. Okay, let us look discuss on the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. Yes, to implement energy efficiency, it is good to have some tools that governs by law. It's for the industry, building, and residential. So the objective is to have a comprehensive legislation to drive the energy efficiency. Second, to improve energy efficiency initiative in the industry, commercial, and residential. And third objective is to reduce the 45% of carbon emission as we pledged in our COP21 Paris Agreement by 2030 based on 2005 level. So who will be affected? Of course, the industry, the building, and the consumer. So for the industry, they need to appoint registered energy manager to look into their consumption and report to us regularly. For building sector, it's the same. Also, we required them to determine the performance, the building performance, and attach the star rating on their building itself. And for domestic, we encourage them to purchase the 5-star rating appliances. And who will benefit from the Energy Efficiency Conservation Act? Of course, the consumer will benefit by itself. Now, let's move to our renewable energy initiative. Well, in our Malaysia power planning, we do include targets of 20% RE by 2025 in terms of capacity, generation capacity. So, traditionally, all the power will be generated and transported to the demand side or the end user. But for RE, you can tap it. You can have a distributed generator, or you can put it in the transmission system with a large scale solar, for example. Well, before we determine the 20% of our capacity to be from RE, we have carried a study on the penetration limits. So this is important to make sure that when RE is in our system, they may not disturb our supply system, our existing power supply system. As we understand, for example, solar is intermittent. So the more solar you put in the system, if it is not controlled accordingly, it may have some interruptions or disturbance in our system. So from our study, we noticed that if your RE capacity is just between 5%, the system will still in a stable mode. Even to up to 20% is still in a stable situation. But as you go beyond 30, there will be some concerns on the system which need to be mitigated with some kind of batteries or all other kinds of technologies. So for the 20%, that may represent some 7,838 megawatts of supply of this capacity. Currently, we have already operationalized with 1,483 megawatts. We have committed capacity with 2,597 megawatts. And we have some 3,858 is to be deployed from waste, small hydro, biomass, biogas, as well as solar. So in the from 2018 to 2037, we are targeting in our capacity mix will be for the RE will be gradually increased, and at least will be achieve the 20% targets in 2025 onwards. This is our current RE in our system. Initially, if you see the 2014, we rely more on the biomass, but as solar technologies is getting better and much more competitive, the amount of solar increased gradually, and now we have some 1,214 megawatt in terms of capacity. And for Malaysia, this is where we can see the penetration level around the country. The northern part of Malaysia, this is where if you put up the solar, you may gain better results in the output compared to the southern parts. So in total, our capacity generated so far from the RE is 1,475 megawatts, out of which from solar itself is 1,214, from mini hydro about 50.3 megawatts, from our biogas, landfill about 69 megawatt, and from our biomass about 1,004 megawatt. We also have challenges. First, of course, we have to meet the balancing energy trilemma, whereby the energy security is the most important things to make sure. We also have to make sure that the energy for the end user is affordable energy, and we also have to ensure the environmental sustainability is being taken care of. So for Malaysia, we still have potential in generating energy from the RE and from the renewable energy. It may be from solar or biomass or other mini hydro and so forth. So in conclusion, in line with ASEAN pledge to increase the components of RE in the ASEAN energy mix to 23% by 2025 from 9% in 2014, Malaysia committed in implementing EE initiative aim to reduce the consumption by 8% in 2025 and as compared to business as usual, and to increase our RE capacity to 20% in terms of capacity mix by 2025. So with that conclusion, I would like to end my presentation and hopes the information shared has some value added, and appreciate the togetherness in our effort to mitigate the carbon emissions and making